There's been a potential image leak for Pikmin 4 going around on social media, an image leak seeming to be of a second new Pikmin type for Pikmin 4. This blurry image leak shows a supposed new type of orange Pikmin with an amorphous gooey body and a singular eye in the center of their head. This Pikmin type comes off as rather unsettling to me, perhaps due to their Cyclops-like eye or to their shifting body shape. This new type seems to take after two types from the recently circulated Pikmin 3 concept art from this notebook taken from an official Nintendo event. For those unaware, this concept art depicts various unused Pikmin types alongside early concept work for rock and winged Pikmin. Though this concept work was only made available after Pikmin 3's release, it does offer a snapshot into the development process of Pikmin, showing ideas that the developers at least considered when working on a title a decade ago. And more importantly, it seems that several of these ideas have relevance now, evolving into things we've actually already seen in Pikmin 4. From this concept art, it seems that ideas related to two of the types shown were already reworked for Pikmin 4. The Bulbearman, which acted as a controllable Pikmin boat, seems to have been directly reworked into Ochi. On the other hand, the new Ice Pikmin seem very similar to the Soot Pikmin from this concept art, in the fact that they deal with an ice hazard, something clearly considered as far back as Pikmin 3. The Ice Pikmin freeze water and enemies into ice, however, while the hairy Soot Pikmin seem like they would have had immunity to the chilling hazard instead. For more information on this subject, I did a video on this concept art back before the Pikmin 4 gameplay trailer was revealed. I believe almost all of what I said there still holds true given the new information we have now. I'll leave a link to this in the iCard in the top right, in the description, and at the end of the video. This new leaked type seems to borrow from this concept art, combining the ghastly orange and shifting wraith-like goo Pikmin from the concept art into one concept. If this leaked image is real, it's grounds to think that we could perhaps see even more from these Pikmin 3 concept make it into the game. However, I wouldn't place much stock in that being the case, and there's quite a few major reasons why I think this leak is fake. First, the images of this type in action are all blurry and low-res, and they seem to be only shown in very similar spaces to where we've already encountered Pikmin from the trailer. This seems to stand in contrast to the seeming expansiveness of the game's world, which has been showcased through the appearance of multiple landing sites and things like the return of caves. If these were types acquired later in the game, would they not be in different-looking areas? It seems as if existing shots of the game were perhaps taken and repurposed, transformed into these leaks, with the blur design to disguise the image. The gooey bodies of the new type are similarly just a disguise. If this was done by a quick Photoshop job or by AI image generation, any mistakes or artifacting are covered up by the fact that these are gooey Pikmin and somewhat amorphous. Though an official goo Pikmin could certainly have an interesting walk animation where their legs stick together and split apart, for example, I think this is more likely just artifacting, and the entire reason the type is being heralded as a goo Pikmin in the first place is just to cover that up. There are other errors as well. I've seen people call out the shadows as simple drop circles, where the in-game shadows we've actually seen are much more dynamic and realistic. The render used on the box art is pretty poorly scaled and clearly an edit of the primary Pikmin types. Even if the other images are indeed real, this box art is almost certainly fake. The second thing that has me doubting the validity of this leak is that it seems to borrow pretty directly from the concept art. Although yes, several aspects of Pikmin 4 seem to be borrowed from this art, they are clearly iterated upon and have changed form a lot from those original ideas. The concept art is on everyone's mind right now, especially following the explosion in popularity and relevance that these types have had in the community over the past few months. To see the ghost Pikmin from that art lifted so directly, and not in a rainy or nighttime setting, is just a little odd. It's especially strange given how off-putting they look. I've been informed that this leak has the dubious origin of being ESRB rating screenshots that were hastily captured on the camera, and that explains the blurriness. If this were the case, would the developers not show these types in the place where they would appear the most ominous and creepy, at nighttime? Wouldn't that be the best place for the ESRB raters to be able to judge the game's content and determine if it's potentially E10 or E10 plus based on the sheer creepiness of it? I mean, I'm not entirely sure how this sort of rating thing works, but I do know in other games that developers have had to go to extreme lengths to prove or rework the content of their games to keep them below a teen rating. For example, flipping models and doing all sorts of things that would never really come up in engine. So if these guys are attached to nighttime, as I've heard several people say about this leak, would that not be the best place to show them off? The third point that has me really doubting this design's validity is that its silhouette is not unique, and this hasn't been the case with any new type since Pikmin 1, perhaps to help out colorblind players. There are a few other things wrong with it too compared to other Pikmin types, but most noticeable is their singular eye. I don't really care that the eye is alone and singular, that's fine. My issue is that no Pikmin type has ever had a truly circular eye. They're always a wide form of ellipse. This is something that many Pikmin fans get wrong when designing their own Pikmin, and a large reason why a lot of fan-designed Pikmin feel off in comparison to official art. This is present here in our new type, the Ice Pikmin, and in all Pikmin types past, with the exception of Pikmin that have had compound button eyes, such as winged or white Pikmin. While it could be argued that the red-eyed mode of this type falls into this, I see that red-eyed state as yet another indicator that this type is fake. Was it perhaps created by artifacting through AI art? What ability is even attached to this? What does it do? Everything in Pikmin is typically pretty purposely designed, and I can't think of a good ability for this other than maybe revealing hidden enemies or taunting enemies. But I see no need for that part of their design, especially when it's already kind of encroaching on purposes taken by white Pikmin, such as X-ray vision, or a purpose that could be handled by other aspects of the type, such as a slight glow were they to give off light. Finally, I'd like to talk about a very personal reason why I think this leak is fake. I designed a Pikmin type almost exactly like this about a year ago as a joke. Months before we even knew Pikmin 4 was going to exist, I designed a model of a one-eyed orange Pikmin type very similar to this called the Forbidden One and posted it on Reddit, testing to see if an absurd post could do well given the kind of content that seems to do well in r/Pikmin. I created this Cyclopsian orange Pikmin with the standard red Pikmin model as a base, and though it wasn't actually a usable functional model, it's totally possible that someone saw this and the idea latched into the back of their head, eventually leading them to create the design used in this fake leak. I was on a bit of a Mega Man kick at the time, so I based it on the gelatinous yellow devil that is, curiously, a gooey boss from the Mega Man series. I designed this type to be unsettling, and to be in the uncanny valley where it could almost look like a real Pikmin type. For example, the eye has similar proportions to a real Pikmin eye, but it's retextured in a way that makes it look unsettling and not as cute, but instead slightly ugly. I refuse to think that any Pikmin type similar to the Forbidden One is a real type. But what do you think? Is there any validity to this leak? I really do think it's possible and even probable that we're getting more than one new Pikmin type in this game based on series precedent, but I just don't think that this is it. But then again, there are elements of this that could point to it being true. The fact that it's based on the concept art, the fact that we see it in different poses, but then again it's a blurry leak, and it's a leak with a lot of problems. I go back and forth, but I'm pretty much 80% on the side of it's fake. But where do you fall? Do you think that this is real? Do you think we're even getting another type at all? Have you seen any more information about this? Let me know in the comments below. That being said, I'll stop rambling and end things here. My name is Vantage Emblem, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers. Special thanks to my Patreons Fernando Arista, Von Briner, Tentacles, and Mocha Kofa. You guys make this possible. If you'd like to become a Patreon, check out the link in the description below.